Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us for another episode of the PHNX Suns podcast. I'm Lindsay Smith here with Saul Bookman, Gerald Bourget, and Espo. Sorry I missed the last week. I had to skip town to go see a lady about a thing, but now I'm back, and we get to have a lot of fun. How'd you guys enjoy your week without me?
It was amazing.
I know.
It was rough.
I'm sorry I had to come back.
It was right. You weren't even here.
Gerald. Go fuck yourself.
So I was by
myself. That's
hard.
It was rough
Gerald.
out in
Thank you,
LA,
Gerald.
living on the streets. Pretty close.
I saw where he booked you. Yeah, not that far off. It was rough because I had to read ads, Lindsay.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the transitions were not smooth for the first 3 or 4 days.
Ads are rough. I feel you. They're really rough. But Gerald, thank you for being sad that I was gone.
I missed you
Saul,
virtually,
Espo,
sure.
Too bad. I'm back. So you're going to have to learn to deal with it.
First of all, Gerald literally is not even in the office or in the studio at all for the last week, right?
Because I'm reporting and going
But
and
he can
doing
still miss
the
me.
work.
Because he was in LA.
Shade on
can
you, but
still
you,
miss me.
you really felt like that was shade on Saul and I.
Yeah, that was exactly what that is. Gerald threw us under the bus for all the hard work we did. We did 6 shows last week, and Gerald just shit on us by choice. Yes, because we are fucking OGs.
That wasn't my intent. I was just saying I missed Lindsay being.
Thank you,
part
Gerald.
of
I
it all.
appreciate you. I
I did
appreciate you
not
very
take
much.
it that way.
We
I
were
also-
slaving over a hot mic for an entire week, and we get no thanks for it.
No.
None. Even the
Nope.
chat's crapping on us. Well, you know what? Someday you won't have us, and then you'll realize how bad
You
it
know what?
really
Fuck it,
is.
Espo.
And
Let's get
now,
out.
today's that day.
Wow, I didn't realize this was going to start a whole thing. My goodness, the emotions. They're
I
running
don't-
high today.
I missed them now already. Will that bring them back, maybe?
I miss them too, Gerald.
Do you miss them?
Hopefully
Are
they come
coming
back.
Oh, there we are.
Oh,
Gerald, I
There we
appreciate
go.
your love, but Lindsay sits on a throne of lies.
I need validation. Thank you very much.
I also appreciate Leo in the chat for the super chat. Said, I'm a cry. Lindsay is back. Thank you, Leo. Appreciate you. I'm glad you guys, and I'm thankful for you guys holding down the fort last week so I could go handle my business because I know obviously the playoffs are in full swing. We've got game 5 coming up tomorrow. Suns have a 3-1 lead on this series. Gerald, the Suns did have practice today, and I want to talk first about injuries because that's something that is obviously very important in the playoffs. Did you get any updates on Cam Payne by chance?
Not an official update on his status for Game 5. Obviously, he missed the first 4 with the low back soreness, but I did ask him, whether it's more difficult because they always talk about checking boxes, and the last box is usually 5-on-5 scrimmaging. And during this time of year where they're playing every other day for the first round, most of it, they haven't really had an opportunity. Most of their practices have been pretty light. And so he was saying it is a little bit harder, but thankfully when you have as many former players on the coaching staff, it's a little easier to get some 5-on-5 going. And so that's what they're planning to do with Cam Payne. Hopefully today, we didn't get clarification on when, but with the coaching staff, some of the bench guys that haven't been getting minutes, they're going to try and get some scrimmaging in. So hopefully he'll be back in the near future. I don't know if he'll be ready by tomorrow, but this could be a situation where they close it out and then he's back by the time they're ready for the second round series. So we'll see.
Which I think they'll really need him in a second round series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we all can assume, knock on wood, if Suns are lucky enough to get there, it's likely Denver waiting for him, and I think you're definitely going to need him in a matchup against the Nuggets.
I just come
I don't
back.
like that noise.
Just come back. Like we need Cam Payne so bad because this bench is absolutely dog shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I know everybody on there, and I like the entire bench unit. They're all cool people, but they are not producing at all. 9 points ain't getting it done. 13 points ain't getting it done. You have to produce more than what you're giving. The only guys out there that are being relatively consistent are really Josh Okogie and to some degree of late Damion Lee. Outside of that, it's been pretty much a ghost town, and that has got to change when you go play the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, it's something that's really important. I also think that as far as Cam Payne goes, one of the issues is of course the scheduling, which I know you guys have probably talked about that plenty, but I still just cannot wrap my head around the fact that this series might be wrapped up tomorrow, and and heading into the second round, and there are people who are barely playing game 4.
Game 4, yeah.
Like, that's insane to me. Like, I just
Yeah.
think that's BS. And had we had a couple extra days, maybe could have helped Cam Payne come back a little bit sooner within the series. But I digress.
Yeah.
We
But,
also,
but if you take care of business, he's going to get an extra 3 or 4 days, depending on if
That's
Denver
fair.
wins as well. Listen, I think, didn't you say it, Espo, or you, Lindsay? One of you two said it, that if they do win and Denver wins, then it's looking likely that it'll be a Saturday matchup
Yeah.
at
NBA
noon.
released that.
If one of the two loses, then it's looking like it'll be a Monday matchup instead.
Right.
I'm really hoping that the Denver Nuggets somehow screw around and lose,
Yeah.
Would
because
be
that
great.
would be chef's kiss.
That would be
Look,
great.
let's not count our eggs before they hatch.
I'm not
or
counting
whatever.
anything. I would
what it
prefer
is.
for the Denver Nuggets to lose if either one of these two teams is going to lose.
Yeah.
Mhm. But we
Fair
don't know
enough.
for sure on timing yet. That's just what we're guessing. We won't know for sure
Yeah,
on timing.
we know for
until we
sure
have some games
Saturday,
out.
Monday.
It's either
is-
Saturday or Monday. yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But as far as like the actual time of the game,
Oh, yeah.
this is what I'm talking about.
No.
The Clippers also had practice today, and we kind of got an update on Kawhi Leonard, who has missed a couple games for the Clippers. So this one came from Lal Murray from The Athletic. They tweeted out, Kawhi Leonard is not practicing, but getting treatment. Ty Lue not ruling him out, but shrug emoji. Ty Lue says that Paul George is, quote, doing whatever he's doing right now, get your camcorders out, which I'm assuming means whatever he was doing on the court, getting up shots, working with the coach, that's what Paul George was doing.
Yeah.
But it's not looking good for Kawhi to come back before tomorrow's game based on how I'm feeling about this tweet.
This was the most Kawhi update ever.
really
It was no update. We have no idea. I mean, the assumption is, since they said there's no timetable for his return, that likely he isn't back, but who knows?
Yeah.
Dude, these two guys, like, whether it's bad genetics, bad luck, whatever you want to put it down as, it's. I think we can all agree that the LA Clipper experiment has not worked out the way that they thought and hoped it would. Kawhi's got swelling in his knee, and that's the biggest issue. They said that on Saturday. I believe it was Crispy Haynes had pointed out that because of the swelling, it's not structural. It's just the swelling that's in that knee and how they're not able to get it to go down. That's the concern. Kawhi, they say that it wasn't Kawhi's decision, but you're not saying that Kawhi didn't want to play. So I think they're just trying to not make him look bad, which I understand. But at the same time, I mean, you get paid millions and millions of dollars. I get it. It sucks. It sucks because I want to see the Clippers at full strength, because I'm really getting tired of playing teams when they don't have all their guys, regular season or postseason.
Well, it definitely doesn't help with the narrative that's out there, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's the most annoying part that comes from injuries outside of personal for those players in that fan base. But like, from our perspective too, everyone's going to pick up the same narrative they did back in 2021 of, well, you only made it that far because of injuries and yada yada. And it's like, that's part of the game though.
You want to hear a crazy stat I heard the other day?
Yes.
From the time, because Anthony Davis, Paul George, and Kawhi all got to their respective teams at the same time.
Mhm.
AD, the guy that we always call Glass Man or A Disney or whatever, has actually played more games than both Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. That blew my mind, because we are always all over Anthony Davis. And
But
honestly,
is it because Anthony Davis misses games because of injury, where Kawhi and Paul George miss games because of injury and rest? And maybe so it's not as like in our faces.
I think it's the way that when Anthony Davis gets injured in a game, it's very Family Guy. I stubbed my toe kind of energy.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
very,
I think
very
it's
much.
more that.
Anthony Davis came to the court and he grazed his finger against a piece of paper and he
Oh,
sliced it,
no.
and he's out for a week.
Hey man,
what?
paper cuts hurt. Okay.
But on the Kawhi thing, I don't think this is necessarily them covering for Kawhi. I think this may be another one of those smoke and mirrors. Kawhi's seriously hurt and he's not coming back, and they know it, but they're trying to have some gamesmanship like they did in 2021. And I think that kind of crap, this cloak and dagger crap, does a disservice to the players. I mean, we saw it with the Suns. You don't get a straight answer, and you're like, well, what's going on with these guys? Like, it starts all this speculation, and I think it's a disservice. If a guy's out, say he's out. This is the projected timetable we have for this guy, instead of all this crap. Because if Kawhi's seriously hurt and you're letting him sit there and take strays because he's not playing in playoff games because you want the illusion he may come back. I don't think that's fair to a guy.
I don't think that's fair to him either. And I think that would contribute to my frustration about it too, is that I get the gamesmanship and, hey, you got to prepare for everybody, but you're also leaving him out to dry. You're leaving him hanging flying in the wind. Just come out and say, hey, he tore his ACL or tore his meniscus, or he's got significant damage right now and he's not going to be able to play because the swelling is pretty bad. Like, just say that and declare him out, so that way he's not taking shrapnel off of something that you think is going to be a safe face moment for him.
Okay, I kind of understand what you're saying on one side, but on the other side, like, isn't that our responsibility as like fans or whomever it is that is throwing things at Kawhi or these somewhat injured players, like making up things that we have no information on?
Yes.
We're all out here just speculating based on what we've been given, and that's our fault, not the team's fault for not disclosing all of the information.
It's all
right?
It's all the unfortunate part of being a fan, or like you've got a national media talking head coming out and saying Kawhi is like the worst superstar because he misses all these games. And to your point, like about Anthony Davis, people make fun of him because he continues to get hurt. He tries to play, he gets hurt. So if you come out and say Kawhi is actually hurt, then it's probably just going to switch to, man, Kawhi can't stay healthy. Let's make fun of him for that. So it's
like a double-edged sword.
Yeah, like you're not gonna win if you get hurt.
I think the people
regard.
who just want to poke fun at players or make fun of them or trash talk them or whatever, they're going to do that regardless of what the situation is.
But I mean, are you gaining anything though if you're like, oh, we're not going to tell the Suns that Kawhi's really hurt, that he might come back? Is that really going to throw players off their game in any way? No, I get that you might have to prepare for both. Things, but you've already played against Kawhi in this series. You know what you're going to try to do. I don't think it's that big of a
but I think it's from a personal perspective for the player not wanting all their information out there.
Also, I mean, we literally saw Kawhi just torch the Suns on a bad leg. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but he looked pretty fucking good to me in the fourth quarter still. Like, I'm not advocating for him to play on a bad knee, because the knee versus just about every other part of your body is a very really fragile important thing, and it's worth a lot of money to your NBA career. So I get it, but at the same time, if it's a little bit of swelling and it's something that he could play through, why not?
I feel like he would be out there though if he could play through it. I feel like playing through it in game 2 is what got him to this point, and now they're having to pay the repercussions for that. I don't know.
Nothing about Kawhi's history with injuries tells me that he would play through something like this.
He played through it in game 2 and he balled out. Like, I feel like that should be the headline, not that he's missed time since then. Like, he did what people want him to do, and now there are consequences for that. And now it's somehow now his heart or his dedication are being questioned. I don't know.
It's also because of what he did in San Antonio, to be honest, as well.
But look, these guys only have a certain amount of time to make their money and be a player in this league. If you tell me there's a chance that you might damage this even more, I'm not going out there because of some machismo bullshit that somebody wants me to go out there because I'm not man enough if I'm not out there for my team. Screw that. If I could seriously hurt myself, I'm not going out there and doing it. And now if it's something not that serious and like you can't do any more damage, fine, go out there and play. But I'm not risking serious injury because somebody thinks I should be more of a man to be out there.
I agree. All right. Well, we'll move on from that topic. Gerald, we also heard from DeAndre Ayton at practice today. Care to share with the class on what you heard from him?
Yeah, so one of the big topics of conversation in this series has been not only DA's offensive role, but kind of the rebounding component of it, the motor. There's been a couple of games where he just hasn't looked as engaged. And so someone just kind of asked him straight up, like, what do you think about the criticism that you get over your motor? And this is what he had to say.
Question your motor.
Man, I don't know what that is, man. Yeah. Motor, come on, bro. I play both ends of the floor. My name is Damion Lee. I anchor the Phoenix Suns on both ends of the floor. Motor, really? You don't talk about a motor, man? Nope. I run on Tesla battery. Full of charge.
I don't think that's as much of a flex as he thinks it is. That shit explodes and catches fire. I'm not sure I want to be known as that.
I'm surprised you didn't say, "Oh, I'm like Twitter. I don't stop." Like, are you sure about that?
I'm a blue check mark. I'm out here for free doing my thing, baby.
You can't take me away.
Oh,
Look,
poor DA. He's just out here trying to have fun, and we all bash on everything. He can't win.
I hate it.
Win.
I hate it because it is a great quote. It's an entertaining quote.
It is.
But at the same time, like, people are going to take this and rip on him. I feel bad for him, man.
You
like,
know a Tesla battery only lasts so long, right?
You plug it back in.
You have to charge it again. Like, that was such a bad... you should have said your iPhone before you even said a Tesla battery.
He has the thing that he on his chest that he should have said. I'm like the sun. I'm eternally powered from the inside, baby.
That's better.
A solar panel, for crying out loud. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, you guys are out of control.
It's rough. And he was, talking before that question about how, like, on the rebounding thing after game 1, everybody was getting on his case about needing to rebound more. And so that's how the question about his motor and the criticism of his motor came up. But man, it's rough because it was a funny moment when you're there and then you post it on social media and it's getting tweeted to death about like his lack of self-awareness or, Tesla jokes. Like
Tesla jokes
rough.
Are fine. It was
Tesla jokes are fine.
That was just a poor reference he pulled. I don't besmirch him for that. I love the attitude, right? Who's going to believe in you? Who should believe in you more than yourself? No one, right? No one. So he's got that going for him, but I would have got Tesla.
But exactly. Though that's the point, though. He picked the one vehicle that you did not need to touch in this moment, DA. Like, stay away from the Tesla because it's catching fucking strays left and right, no matter what.
Corey said, "I'm like the sun. I shine brightest during the day. 7 p.m. No, come on."
Come on.
Damn.
That's brutal.
Yeah. I mean, the Suns did play at noon on fucking Saturday, and he had a good game.
He was great.
Oh, no.
Solar charge.
Damn.
We did get Jose in the chat said, they poked the bear. And then Matt said, we need this DA out on the court. Do you feel like this was a question that throw enough of a low-key jab at DA to get him worked up for tomorrow's game?
Standing there, it was not a question meant as a jab. I think it was a genuine attempt to, because these guys hear what is said about them. They're aware of it. Like, he was genuinely asking, like, what do you think about when people criticize your motor? And that's what he said. So I don't think that's the type of thing that would light a fire necessarily, but maybe. You never know. Like, I thought he played really well in game 4. I thought he's been more aggressive off the dribble, like I've said, because they've been, playing up on him more to stop his mid-range shot. So I hope we continue to see him attack the offensive glass the way he has against those small ball lineups, especially. I think he's leading the league in rebounding in the playoffs now, or he's near the top 5. Like, he's been better over the last few games. So I hope that continues.
Well, and I said this to Saul the other day. In post game, I think as long as we remove the preconceived notion about he was number 1, right, and step away from that and look what this team needs in this series, I think he's been very good over the last few games, and I think that's the mindset you have to go in, because the whole number 1 pick taking over a game, that's not what you even need anymore from him, because you got KD and you got Book. You need him to be good defensively, good on the glass, and add what he can offensively, take advantage of the moments when they come to him.
I also think you're always going to be let down if that's the mindset you approach his game with every single time he goes out there on the court. So instead of going in knowing you're going to be let down, just change your expectations. So that maybe then you can be pleasantly surprised and a little bit happier as a fan.
Lowered expectations.
But you know where you don't have to lower your expectations at?
When you watch this show.
That's right. And also with the BetMGM Sportsbook, they have a lot of really great stuff on their app. They also have an amazing sportsbook out in Glendale at the State Farm Stadium, which of course, as you guys all know, all of the away playoff games, we're hosting watch parties out there. It's a lot of fun. If you have not signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code PHNX. So there's a few different offers from BetMGM depending on where you live, but for everyone who lives in Arizona, you will get up to $100 in bonus bets on your first wager with BetMGM. All you have to do is make sure, again, you use that bonus code PHNX when you sign up. Also, we want you guys to join our Knockout Nights Cornhole League during the first Friday night of every month. It's free to enter. We're going to have food and beverage specials, giveaways, and BetMGM prizes. Who do you guys think is going to be the best cornhole player here at PHNX?
No, it's always me.
No.
Lord have mercy.
I actually think it's going to be Leah because Leah had never really played cornhole, tried it once in here,
I could see that.
and sunk the first one. I was like, she might be a natural on that. So
I like Leah as the best player at PHNX.
Would you put money
I'm not
on
mad
it?
at that.
This man.
No.
Can't take any slight to it.
No, but I like it.
No, because I know they're full of shit. There's no way they would pick Leah in an actual cornhole tournament. They wouldn't put their money
I'll
on
put
that.
$20 on it.
Oh, let's do it. Fuck yes.
I love your overconfidence.
Wait,
There we
Leah
go.
specifically or Leah's team?
Leah's
because
team.
it's a team,
Leah's
right?
team.
So,
Yeah,
okay.
whatever.
Okay, just making sure. Well,
Sorry,
we shall
Leah.
find
Didn't mean to
out.
catch strays today.
I know,
Yeah.
poor Leah. Leah, I hope you do really well. I'm rooting for you. To sign up for the Knockout Nights, check the
There
show
we go.
notes for all
They
the
did not.
details. And now listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Disclaimer, 21 plus to wager. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in Washington, D.C., Mississippi, Nevada, New York, and Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369, New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, Arizona. 1-800-522-4700, Kansas, Nevada. 1-800-327-5050, Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF, Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help, Michigan.
So when I was on vacation, I saw that OGs had put out a brand new ad on their social media, which was one of my favorite ads that I think I've seen in a hot minute. It was so entertaining. If you guys haven't seen it, you definitely got to go over to their Instagram account and check it out. But the only thing that's better than their advertisement is their products. Of course, we're talking about the best scratch-made THC gummies available on the market. They've got the Sleep Edition gummy. They've got the Happy Balance gummy. They've got a multitude of delightful flavors. If you guys have not checked them out, we highly recommend OG's Brands. You can find them at your local dispensary or by checking out ogsbrands.com. But again, you must be 21 years or older, and we ask that you enjoy them responsibly. We also have a super chat from Ryan. Ryan, thank you for your super chat. They said, Lindsay, welcome back. Hope you had a great birthday. Thanks, Ryan. I did. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. All right, gentlemen, you want to talk about Devin Booker? Doing Devin Booker things?
Let's do it.
This has been one of the best highlights of the playoffs thus far because Book is just playing out of his mind, right? We'll just look at the numbers alone. So he's averaged 34.8 points, 5.5 assists, 4.3 rebounds, and 2.8 steals in the first four games of the playoffs. And in the playoffs currently, he is leading the league in steals with 11, in field goals made with 52, in overall points with 139, and points per game with that 34.8. I don't know about you, but I said that's pretty good, yeah? Not too bad?
Yeah. Well,
Not too bad?
there's another stat too that puts it even into more perspective, where it's just him and Michael Jordan in 1992 that have this stat line. Players in NBA history start the first four games of playoffs averaging 30 points, 5 assists, 2 steals, a block, and 65% true shooting. Michael Jordan, Devin Booker. Anytime you're one of two people and the other guy's Michael Jordan, I think you're doing something all right.
Yeah, and that year the Bulls won a championship, so that would be.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
That would be pretty
A
neat.
championship. A championship.
Okay, so what do you guys think it is? Is this just a natural progression for Devin? Do you think it's KD kind of opening things up for him? What do you think it is?
I think it's a number of things, and listening to Monty and DA today, also talking about the level that Book is playing at. I think it's a natural progression for him, and I think it's enhanced by the arrival of Kevin Durant, because you look at how physically they're playing KD, how they've got a guy glued to him at all times. That opens up driving lanes when they go small. The lack of a rim protector, he's able to drive easier. And he's just playing at an unreal level. I think DA said it best at practice today when he was saying, like, when KD gets here, that raises your level of effort, your level of focus, your level of play, because you want to match that. And he feels like Book more than anyone is doing that right now. And I think that's fair to say. I think once KD got here, Book realized the opportunity he has in front of him and has stepped up to that kind of level where he's playing some of the best basketball of his career. Obviously, this is only 4 games. It's in the first round. It's against the Clippers team that has missed Kawhi for the last 2 games and Paul George for all of them. But those numbers are insane no matter who is out on the floor at an NBA level. And he's just risen to meet the challenge. And I think this is a natural progression of what we've seen the last 2 postseasons.
If he's going to be legendary, he, the one thing about MJ obviously was that he did that the entire play. That you could argue that was Michael Jordan's best playoff year because they were just dominant. Outside of maybe the 96 team that went basically fucking undefeated for the most part, 72-10 team. So, and he's playing to that level. He's playing at a very, very high level. But again, we don't judge first rounds. We judge the entire playoffs. And even if Devin averaged 50 last year, but they lost in the second round, you're forgotten. And that's not part of being legendary. So he's at some point, the goal is to win a championship. And hopefully this is the year or next year is the year that can come to fruition while he's playing at such a high level. Because I do feel like, I think a lot of people, Jose being one of them in the chat, was very concerned that Devin Booker will be lost and not get the credit that he deserves since Kevin Durant came over.
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you that if Devin Booker continues to play like this, there is no shot of that happening because he will get his love. He will get his recognition. And if they win a championship this year, he will be the bell cow for that championship. It won't be KD. It will be Devin Booker.
Look, you can drop the B. Devin Booker is already legendary in this town. He's getting his due respect across the league from the national media now who's seeing this. He's getting shoes, his own shoes, all these things. Devin Booker is legendary. It's can he cap it off? Can he win with this team? And I think he can. I think he looks out there and he sees what is out in front of him, what they're able to potentially accomplish this year, and he's going to do everything in his power to make it happen. He now has Kevin Durant, so he's not facing those double teams and the pressing when he's coming up court, and he goes, I can be me. I can do this now. He's ready to pick up that crown and take that mantle, and I'm excited to watch this, and I hope it continues. I don't know. Looking forward, I don't know who in that next series, if it is Denver, is stopping him. Oh, and if they try to stop him, KD's getting his opportunity now. Again, it's pick your poison. Devin Booker's doing a hell of a lot of great things, and I think it's going to continue.
And the thing that stands out to me is not just the high minutes, because he is second in the NBA among all playoff performers in minutes per game behind Kevin Durant. They have the top 2. But the efficiency on both ends, he's shooting 57% overall, 43.5% from 3. And then on the other side, he's leading the league in steals. He's 3rd behind Anthony Davis and Anthony Edwards in steals plus blocks, which is known as stocks. And opponents are only shooting. No, stocks. Stoinks.
Stoinks, stonks.
Stonks, whatever.
No. And he's shooting, opponents are shooting under 40% from the field against him, which is incredible because he's defended more shots than anyone so far in this postseason. And that was a topic at practice today. We were talking to Monty, and he was saying 4 years ago, I'm not surprised by this because 4 years ago, he called me before a big game and asked to be put on their leading scorer. And he would get mad throughout that year when I wouldn't do it and put him on that leading scorer. So he knew that it was going to be something that would take time because it's a matter of scheme and the quality of team that you have around you. But I asked Booker about his defense, and this is what he had to say.
I take a lot of pride in it. And I always have. I had a reputation early in my career that, I couldn't do it. Being a part of a losing team was tough, and, I had a lot of weight on my shoulders. But now, doing it collectively with a group of 5, with everybody locked into the same scheme, and it allows everybody to be aggressive on the ball, and you have help behind you, people covering up your mistakes.
And I think that's a crucial part of it, is knowing that you have teammates that can actually cover for you, because we've seen him come up behind Ivica Zubac and slap the ball away, pickpocket guys like that. He's flying out of bounds, trying to save loose balls. And I think he's always had that in him, like he was saying, but until you have that right team around you, it's a lot harder to do that night in and night out at this kind of level.
Well, I think it allows him to chase those blocks too.
Mhm.
Averaging 1.3 of those, I mean, that's a trust factor too, because sometimes you have to take a chance and may wind up at a position when you try to block a guy. Every year you saw Devin Booker get better
Yeah.
at something, and this year really feels like the defense is where he's tried to lock in and take that next step, and we're seeing that pay off here.
I do agree that somebody has said in the chat, if Devin Booker is able to win a championship, he'll go down as the most beloved Arizona athlete ever. I think there's an argument to be made that he's right there already at the top, maybe next to Fitz, maybe next to Randy Johnson, because Randy did win a championship here and multiple Cy Youngs. Like that's worthy.
I think Randy's personality probably knocks him down a
sure,
notch.
but again, championships are a big deal, especially when you only have one in the entire fucking state. So I think winning a championship is important, and for me, I'm kind of past that point of like, cool, locally he's a legend, but like if you don't win a championship, I feel like somebody's got to break through, for crying out loud. Somebody at some point has got to break through. And I think Devin Booker is probably going to have the best chance of any Arizona athlete to finally break through since that Diamondbacks team. I really do believe that.
Yeah. And I do want to address a question in the chat because someone was saying, was asking how are Book's numbers if we normalize it on minutes played. He's killing it, but he's also playing a lot of minutes. True, fair from a per game average standpoint, but also like, if anything, I think that's more impressive that you're able to sustain the level of play he has sustained when he's playing 45 minutes a night. That's really hard to do, especially on both ends, because it's not like, Devin Booker in the past where we see him go off offensively, but defensively, he ball watches or falls asleep or gets backdoor cut. Like he's out here making steals, blocks, like it's everything that he's doing for this team right now. And that's really hard to do, not only 45 minutes a game, but 45 minutes a game of playoff basketball. It's a different level of physicality.
Especially when you only have one night in between each game.
Right.
But all three of you, when we were talking about Book's numbers, said, I hope it continues. I hope that this continues. Where do you fall as far as like how sustainable do you think this could be, playing 40 plus minutes a night at this level?
Oh, I think he could absolutely do it. His energy level right now, I don't know what the fuck he's eating. I don't know what supplements he's taking.
Did he go vegan?
Cocoa 5.
But keep doing that.
Cocoa 5.
Because that shit is working. Like, to his point, like we talked the other day about, you could play 40 to 45 minutes, but not everybody's 40 to 45 minutes is the same as you would think it is. Like there's levels to this in terms of the load that they're actually taking on. KD's 48, 45, 42 minutes are not the same as Devin Booker's 42, 45 minutes. They just aren't. His load is far less taxing on his body than it is for Devin Booker, because Devin Booker, he just doesn't stop. And I will say this, there's also something to be said about, like, there's guys like Rip Hamilton back in the day. I feel like Devin Booker gives me Rip Hamilton vibes to a certain degree, because when you watch him on offense, as long as it's not a 1-4 high set, he's just going. He's just going. He's trying to wear out his defender as much as possible. And then on the defensive end, he's just as active. And it's incredible to me that somebody can perform at that level. So I think it's absolutely possible that he can continue this on, especially, listen, there's no hardcore defenses in the Western Conference. The toughest one I do believe that they had to face was this Clippers team. I truly believe that. Maybe you can make an argument for a revamped Lakers squad to a degree, but the Warriors, nope. The Kings, nope. And also who they might have to play in the next round, the Denver Nuggets, nope. Like, I feel like it's only going to get a little easier for him as opposed to harder.
Well, and he only played 53 games in this regular season, so there's some less wear and tear just due to the time he missed. So I think he can keep this up in the 40s. I don't think 45 can be that number night in, night out, but I definitely think he can keep it up from an energy standpoint.
Yeah.
Well, we'll at least see what happens tomorrow in Game 5. And of course, that will happen here in Phoenix. But if you guys are going to be watching from home, highly recommend you grab some Mountain Mike's Pizza for the game. They've got a fantastic selection of pizzas available. Obviously, you know, we're big fans of Mountain Mike Pizza over here at PHNX. Not only do they bring some into our studio every once in a while, which are like my favorite days of the week when Mountain Mike's delivers, but also at a lot of our events, Mountain Mike's has brought out pizza as well, and everyone loves it. So head over to mountainmikespizza.com to place your next order or check out their Mesa, Chandler, or Tucson locations. And as a reminder, new diehards get a $50 voucher upon signing up. So if you are not a diehard here at PHNX, consider becoming one today, because this is just one of the many perks that you get for being a diehard. So check that out. And don't forget, tomorrow, if you're watching the game from home, Mountain Mike Pizza is the way to go. But if you want to go to the game, Game Time is the way to go, because Game Time can help you save big on games and concerts, whatever type of event you want to go to. It is the place for last minute ticket deals. Obviously, we're kind of coming up on that last minute mark for Game 5. Espo, can you do me a favor and see
I'm on it.
what kind of number will get you in the door tomorrow? But all I know is at Game Time, you can snag tickets without the stress. They have an option where you can do an all-inclusive pricing, so you know exactly how much money you're going to be spending on that ticket without having to add it to your cart and then go to your cart and then put in your information, and then you find out what taxes and fees and all that kind of stuff are. Game Time has you covered there. And if you download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code PHNX, you're going to get 20% off your first purchase. Terms do apply. But again, download the app, create an account, and redeem code PHNX for $20 off.
I can get you in the door
Okay.
for as cheap as $99 tomorrow.
That's pretty
For
good.
a closeout, potential
Damn.
closeout game
Okay.
at home, the rowdiest arena in the NBA. $99. Take that $20 off. You're getting it for $79.
Well, there you go. Don't miss out on the fun. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. You can also use Game Time for away games, which I think is a good reminder too, because we have a lot of viewers who don't live in Arizona. So if you live in a place that the Suns are going to be visiting throughout the playoffs, check out Game Time, because you can get tickets there too.
Concerts too. I just
Yeah.
got really good
Mhm.
concert tickets there.
Concerts are great. All right, so Game 5 tomorrow, potential to close out the series. So let's talk about what the team needs to do in order to close it out. Obviously, we talked about Kawhi being out. That's a benefit for the Suns, taking advantage of that. Or at least in theory, he should be out based on all signs point to him being out. So that's one that's pretty simple. But what are you guys thinking?
Look, we've talked about it a lot. First quarter.
Mm.
You got to come out stronger and play a complete quarter. We have yet to see him do that. They had a bit of a run at the beginning of the last game's first quarter, and then they backslid in the second half of the quarter. I need to see a complete 12 minutes to start that game, because I think you can really rattle the Clippers doing that, and you can get the home crowd behind you real quick.
Honestly, just play with effort, play with energy, play like you want to put this thing away, and don't play with your meat.
In the words
Thanks,
of Doc
Doc.
Rivers.
Just don't play with your meat.
I wonder, I need to know how long, what's the over-under for how long you think that joke will last? Because it's going to be a while.
I'm never going to say
Forever.
food again.
It's going to be a while.
It's gonna
Okay.
be
I mean,
a while.
Just,
He's
I just
not the
wanted to
first
know.
doc to say that, though. I mean, come on.
Lord have
Jesus.
mercy.
Speaking from personal experience.
I didn't say that.
I agree, Espo, as far as the Suns needing to get off to a faster start, but it seems as though that they've kind of been ramping up throughout the series, right? From game 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, they've gotten a little bit better. They've gotten more comfortable with one another. Hopefully, we continue to see that ramp up, and maybe this time in game 5, it'll start at the tip.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, Monty was asked that question. He was saying, "Look, we've lost we haven't won a first quarter yet, and we're still up 3-1. Like, I care more about winning the game than winning the first quarter. Ideally, we get off to a good start. And I think at home, like you're saying, in a closeout game, if you get off to a great run and the crowd is loud as hell, like you can put that series away pretty quickly and build a lead there. But for me, the biggest things are continuing to punish them if they do go small, which they've had to without Kawhi or PG out there. Continue punishing them on the offensive glass. In games 1 and 2, the Clippers won that battle 27-13. In the last 2 games, the Suns have won it 29-15. So I think, and it's not even about second chance points as much as when you're playing with a lead the way that they have in the last couple of games, those offensive rebounds help you drain additional clock. And that's what really did the Clippers in a couple of times there. So
especially late.
yeah, so do that and continue getting to the free throw line. This is a team that was 27th in free throw rate during the regular season. They are leading the league in all playoff teams in free throw attempts per game. They're taking 30 a game, which is huge because the Clippers, the one advantage that they have with some of those small ball lineups is they're trying to play physical, trying to get up under Kevin Durant, and trying to get him, uproot him from his spots. If you continue to get to the free throw line, KD's gotten there 11 times in the last 2 games. That's one way to combat that and to get easy points and to beat the math problem that we've seen them encounter so many times.
Offensive rebound wise, you bring up. Interesting, Josh Okogie's played over 20 minutes in the last 2 games. They've won the offensive rebounding battle. He had 5 in game 3, only 1 in game 2, but his ability to crash the boards, I think, has a very big impact on that. Obviously, Kawhi not being there helps too, but I think Josh Okogie can play a role on those offense boards.
I think there's a couple keys to the game tomorrow. Number one, I think the first quarter starts. It's legit just to get out into a good rhythm. 2, DA has to play with tremendous energy like he did in game 4. And lastly, you just got to stay away from this guy. You don't want to see Mr. Freeze tomorrow.
Come on.
You don't want to see the Iceman.
How are we doing this?
You don't want to see him freeze the team.
What do you think? He's
are we
going to
doing
take Devin
this?
Booker out?
Monty just catching strays.
Monty does some funny shit sometimes, man. I just don't want to see this guy tomorrow.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
He's like, this Devin Booker guy's
wrong
been
with
great,
that.
but let's sit him for 20 minutes.
I don't want to hear the.
He's playing KD and Book 45 minutes.
no.
Chris Paul's 8th in minutes per game. Come on, man.
I
I'm
will
just saying.
From a
Oh,
Monty
man.
perspective, what I would like to see, and Gerald, I know you wrote about this over at GoPHNX.com the other day, is Damion Lee getting some of Landry Shamet's minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we've seen this the last 2 games now where Shamet, I think he played 4 and 5 minutes in the first half, didn't play at all in the second half because Damion Lee was getting those minutes. I would like to see those first half minutes go to Lee, let him get in a rhythm a little bit. He had 8 points in game 3, didn't have any in game 4. But he's played well. He's competed defensively, and just having him out there as a floor spacer, a capable guy with championship experience is a helpful thing to have in a closeout game. And I really do think at this point, from what we've seen, the bench rotation should be busy, should be Damion Lee, and should be Josh Okogie. What?
Ryan H in the chat said, "You know what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age."
Oh my God. Now Monty's getting blamed for killing the dinosaurs.
Poor Monty.
That's a good one. That's a
Monty
good one, Ryan H.
Can't
I
win
like that.
today.
Oh my God.
Oh my
I'm not saying he's going
goodness
to. I'm
gracious.
just saying if he shows up, it's going to be a problem.
Unreal.
Well, we'll find out. If you guys want to read that article that I referenced that Gerald wrote, head on over to gophnx.com. Check out all the great content we have over there for you. And listen, we love to create events here at PHNX, and we have an event that is coming up tomorrow, and that is our PHNX D-backs crew. They are headed out for their first takeover at Chase Field on April 25th, 6:40 first pitch. Join them at Cold Beers and Cheeseburgers for pregame festivities, and then watch the squad take on the Royals. You can grab your ticket through the link in our show notes. This will be the first of many, right? Some
Yeah,
really
6 of
cool
them.
events happening over at Chase Field with the PHNX D-backs crew. Lots of fun stuff in store. Go PHNX has all the information. And, you know, there's another perk of becoming a diehard. When we have events like this, diehards get first dibs.
Yep.
First dibs to
And a
all the
discount.
action and the discount.
Also, I know we're not going to do this ad read. That's cool. It doesn't matter. We're going to throw this in the middle. You can go to the game and just have Fubo TV open on your fucking phone so you can watch the Suns game at the same time you're watching the D-backs game. So there's that.
So it's like
Because
a
they both will be
win-win.
going on at the exact same time.
Exactly. And then you don't have to miss out on any of it. Also, speaking of events, we have one happening on April 27th at Four Peaks. And that is, of course, the NFL draft. Emma has been working so hard to get that show ready for the PHNX Cardinals crew. They are putting in a lot of work behind the scenes to prepare for this. And you guys are not going to want to miss out on the action. That is happening again, April 27th at Four Peaks 8th Street Pub. For those of you who have registered, we look forward to seeing you there. And if you haven't registered, check the link in the show notes. Regardless of where you're watching it, though, make sure you're enjoying a delicious Redbird lager. Of course, you do have to be 21 years or older to enjoy that, and we ask that you enjoy responsibly, but don't miss out on all the fun. So we did have a comment in the chat that said Torrey Craig is kind of going under the radar and maybe not getting as much attention or love that he deserves. Well, this
Oh,
segment is dedicated to
until
Torrey
now.
Craig. We're going to give him all the flowers right now because he is playing out of his mind. And it's pretty cool to see Torrey Craig take advantage of these minutes. So Espo brought some numbers for us. You want to compare 2022 to 2023 playoffs for Torrey Craig?
Pull those up. When you look at last year, I mean, we all remember Torrey Craig comes back to Phoenix. We think, oh, he was such a key in 2021. He'll do great things. Not so much. 2.2 points, 30% three-point shooting, 36% from the field, 1.7 rebounds, and 0.6 assists. But this year, he's turned it on compared to that. 15.5 points, 55.6% three-point shooting. He's shooting almost 67% from the field, 4 rebounds, and 1.3 assists. It's insane. Now, 9 games in 2022, only 4 so far in 2023, but it's insane how much his productivity's gone up and how important and integral he's been to the Suns taking a 3-1 lead in this series.
Yeah, he's been huge on both ends of the floor, and I was in the camp that making that switch from Josh Okogie to Torrey Craig was a gamble, and it wasn't. I still don't think it was the right move, but Craig has vindicated Monty's decision to do that, especially now that Okogie has found a way to make an impact in more minutes off the bench. So I hats off to Torrey Craig. He's obviously playing a lot more minutes this year than last year, but that's because he's been able to validate that decision for Monty and back it up with production. He's been shooting unreal numbers from 3-point range to the point that other teams might start thinking twice about trying to make him beat them. And that's huge. Like, if you have two-way production, he's been a legitimate 3-and-D player. Energy guy, crashes the offensive glass just like Josh Okogie does. So he's been fantastic for them.
I'm a big believer that outside the homeostasis is a real thing when it comes to how you feel, how you play. Some players like to look good, and when they look good, they feel good, they play good. I just don't think it's a coincidence that music video dropped and he's had 2 fucking phenomenal weeks since then. I'm just saying, that's pretty phenomenal.
That's what it is.
Good for you, Torrey. Good for you, buddy.
The music video.
He's been off the
What they
charts.
say, if you look good, you feel good.
Oh,
Something
he
like
felt
that.
good in that video.
Good Lord.
Lord have mercy. Let's get us off camera one more time, and we'll put up our next stat graphic.
You set me up for
And so
failure.
you compared the 2022 playoffs to the 2023 playoffs for Torrey Craig, but now let's look at his playoffs from this year compared to his career playoff numbers.
Yeah, he's played 68 games in the playoffs over his career, and it's not as if last year was the outlier and he's always played this way. He's averaging 10 more points than he has for his career in the playoffs. He was 39% overall from 3 in his career in the playoffs, 55.6 this year. He's 20% higher in field goal percentage, more than a half a rebound better, and almost a full assist better than his career. So overall, he has stepped it up across the board in reality, not just over last year. In totality of those 68 games he's played in the playoffs.
I'm about to put you guys on the spot because I'm hoping you guys can find this before we finish the segment out.
Okay.
Because since we did last year versus this year, and we did career versus this year, the big thing when we got him last year was how he played in 2021 and like how great he was. So if you guys can fix that real quick, because I think because everybody is hearkening back to that. That's the reason why he was so valuable, getting him back last year, and then he just didn't perform up to that same level.
Well, in 2021, the thing was he was in a bench role, and this time he's being a starter, and he's averaging nearly 16 more minutes per game. So take this with a grain of salt, but only 4 points, 2.9 rebounds, 43% shooting from the field, 41% from 3. So he shot the ball well from 3. He made those hustle plays, defended well, but the impact he's having this playoff run is by far larger.
And it's the threes to me that are the separator for Torrey Craig because he's going to be open and you got to make teams pay. That's why he did such a great job in the first several games of the series. He was hitting that corner 3. He was hitting that 3 on the wing. You can't leave him open because he feels like he's a knockdown 3-point shooter. Sorry, Josh Okogie. So that's the thing that I'm going at right now. And yeah, he's playing at a high level right now because he's getting more minutes, but it's also because of his production. If he's not hitting those threes, he's not playing as much. I don't care what he's doing on the defensive end. He's not going to be playing, as you said, 14 more minutes than he was previously. So, you love to see it because he's such a great guy. We've had an opportunity to talk to him on the show. Love some Torrey Craig.
Yeah, he's easy to root for.
I've been impressed with his mid-range game too. He's hit a handful of those, and he's just taking advantage of what. I know it sounds so cliche, but taking advantage of what the defense gives him. In game one, that was Zubac. Right. Since then, it's been everybody else that they've rotated around, and he's come up big, and they're going to need it. He has to keep up a similar level of play going forward because you're getting so little from your bench that without him, you're going to be in a world of hurt if they're not able to keep him. He doesn't have to have 15, but he needs to probably be in double figures for them to have a real chance to compete in the way they want to.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you the same thing I asked about Book with Torrey Craig. How sustainable is this?
He's not going to average 15 on 56% three-point shooting. I think if you get him around 10, especially once Cam Payne comes back to take the burden off some of the other role players to step up this big, that's huge. But I think you want him shooting above 40%. You want him averaging around double figures, especially if he continues to start at least until Kevin Durant gets more comfortable. Because that's the crazy thing is, like, we talk how much, like, it still feels like they're figuring it out on offense and KD's not getting enough shots or whatever, and he's still averaging like 27, 28 points per game for the series. So I think once they get more acclimated, his numbers will go up. A guy like Craig's will probably come down a little bit, but if they're around double digits on better than 40% three-point shooting, that might be all you need from Craig.
Well, and I think you're 100% right that they're going to start playing more defense. They're not going to leave him open. They're not going to choose to leave Torrey Craig open, which we may see a dip in his numbers, but it may actually go to help the team overall because you're going to get some easier looks for other guys on the court.
All right, guys. So the last thing I have for you, I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here. Apparently, it's like National Bucket List Day.
Ooh.
And obviously, we all have the same bucket list item that we want to check off, and that is attend a Phoenix Suns championship parade here in Phoenix. But in addition to that, what's on your bucket list?
Ooh.
Not basketball related?
Not basketball related. Emma said not basketball related. There's rules to this game.
Like we can't just like what if I said, I would love to go to like an 8-foot hoop and dunk on Gerald? I can't just say that.
I mean,
it can't be bucket list.
You can. I mean, that's a lame bucket list.
You ain't getting that shit past me. But
Shit,
fired.
Challenge accepted. Let's go.
Oh, I love how we're ending this show
Oh my
today.
God.
How
I'm
fun.
like Charles fucking Barkley out there, son. I don't know. A bucket list. I want to do it, but I'm probably only going to do it like right before I die. I want to go skydiving.
Ooh, okay. Emma wants to go skydiving too.
That's the last thing I want to do.
You can go in like
That's
or
a
like right
literal
outside.
bucket list item.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't want to go right now
Why?
because I want to live, bro.
Bro,
Bucket
why not go to
list.
one of
You
those
know-
indoor skydiving places?
That's not the same.
Well, but if you're not willing to take the full step, you can at least
No, I
start
want the real
somewhere.
deal. Like if I'm gonna do it, I want to do the real thing. Like that's
Yeah.
just how I live
I've
life.
done the indoor one and it's just like
Yeah,
it's all right.
Look,
it's just wind in your face.
Yeah.
Look, I used to be afraid of that stuff, and I'm at a point where I'm just like, you know what? If I get the opportunity, I'm going to do it. Like, why not? If something happens, it happens, right?
Yeah.
That's life.
You gotta
right?
go at some point in
Like,
time,
I
right?
mean, I can walk outside and get hit by a bus. Like, anything can happen. So why not at least enjoy it?
Getting hit by a bus.
Yeah, anything is possible.
He didn't even see it coming. He just walked into the street.
Oh, no.
Well, that sounds like I purposefully did it. That's just not cool. This is gonna sound cheesy, but I've crossed a lot of things already off my bucket list. So I don't know. Like, I want to live long enough to see my daughter graduate college. Like that's
That's a good
a
one.
bucket list.
It's a good
thing.
one. It's a good
Yeah.
one.
That's a good one. I feel like all of mine are so many of mine are just around like travel destinations.
Yeah.
Right? Like I just want to
Yeah.
go to all the different places.
I've got a lot of travel ones. Obviously, getting married next year is going to be, that was a big one. But the one that's remaining that's not already in motion, I've always wanted to do a voiceover for like an animated adult show.
Oh, that's fun.
Like I've always wanted like a BoJack or a South Park.
I mean,
or
we
something
did
like
hear
that.
your Mr. Mackey
yeah.
voice was pretty solid.
I've
I'm not
always
gonna
wanted
lie.
to do that. That would be my shit for sure.
I would love to write a script at some point.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know that I have the
Like a
attention
movie
span.
or a book?
TV, movie.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know if I have the attention span to actually sit down and do it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Some good ones in here. So lots of travel and then life check marks, of course, which are coming up for you, Gerald.
So all we need to do
That's
is
what we need you to write a book.
all we need to do is have Saul dunk on Gerald. Then he's prepared to go jump out of an airplane.
Then your life will be a success.
Complete.
What more could you ask for?
I'm sorry. I love you, Gerald, and I definitely want to dunk on you, but one of these things is not like the other one. So
Don't jump out of an airplane on me because I probably won't be able
what
to
if we
block
had
it.
a hoop floating in the sky and I dunked on Gerald while on sky? Yes, there it is,
that
Emma.
would be kind of legit.
That'd be
I'm
pretty
not
So are
gonna
you
lie.
down?
That would be kind of
Are you
legit.
down?
Am I done?
Down?
Down. Are you down
it?
to go skydiving?
Oh. No, I said
Bucket list.
He needs a few
closer
more
to-
years.
I need a few
Emma.
more years.
He
I
needs a
got
few more
some
years.
things I need to accomplish before.
Espo, my name is Fat Mike in the chat said tinfoil hat club scripts read like poetry.
There you go.
So
You
you,
wanna-
are getting close.
You want to know a little secret?
Hmm.
There is no script. I do that extemporaneously.
Well, see, and look at what would have happened if you actually wrote a script
Mhm.
then. So
It would
you're
suck
halfway
way
there.
more.
You're halfway there.
That's actually a pretty good question, Jay.
Hmm.
It says, who plays Espo in a biofilm?
It's easy. It's Fat
It's-
Jonah Hill.
Okay, you have to clarify which one.
Well, I mean,
Jonah
he-
Hill's not fat anymore, though.
but they get fat for roles all the time.
Yeah, but he worked really hard to get that body.
He did.
Yeah, well, you're going
And
to
it's
get paid
so
upwards
sad.
of $20 million to play me.
It's so sad because they always ask him about his weight. And he gets
Pesos.
pissed off about it.
I mean, I would too.
I would too.
Like,
Yeah.
can we get over it? It's just weight.
Right.
Who would play you in the movie?
I don't know. It's a good question.
We were having this debate around the office, and it has a little bit to do with this. I just want to pick your guys' brain because I just came up with Gerald's. So we were asking everyone whose animated character, like whether it's Pixar, Disney, etc., like who is that person at PHNX? So I just discovered that Gerald is Stuart Little.
I'm Stuart Little.
Stuart Little.
Mac had said Winnie the Pooh, so I don't know which one's worse.
I'm going Stuart Little.
Is it like
Okay.
the evil Winnie the Pooh from that horror movie that came out the other day
Blood
or
and
whatever
Honey.
year?
I would hope not.
Do you ever?
I mean,
No. Did you ever watch The
Very white.
League?
yeah.
Raffy.
Oh my-
Raffy can play you.
Oh my God!
Oh, I
Rafi
was like, that's
awesome.
Gerald?
No, that's
You
not
think
Gerald
Gerald's
at all.
Raffy?
No, I mean
No
the guy.
chance.
The guy who played him could play Gerald. I think he could pull it off. Trim that beard a little bit. Get a haircut.
Maybe.
I don't
Sure.
know.
Easy in the
Maybe
chat said
Nick
Girth is
Kroll.
Tom Cruise.
Nick Kroll is
Nick
Gerald.
Kroll with a beard.
No,
I can see
Saul is Scar from Lion King. That's what.
Ooh.
That's
That-
like my cartoon character.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was
okay.
that was
Yeah,
decided.
I'm down with that.
You,
Oh my
you got
goodness.
full villain, and you're like, I'm down with that.
Yeah,
Go full
I embrace
blood.
the dark side.
Yeah,
What-
why not?
I would probably be Aladdin, I think, as far as cartoon character.
You would be.
You
I
ain't.
would be Aladdin.
Why did I? Dare I ask what you put me down for?
I don't think we came up with anything for Espo.
Not yet.
And then Lindsay,
Cartoon?
The
Yeah.
genie.
and then Lindsay
From
was still
Aladdin?
deciding.
Who's the guy in Toy Story with the glasses? He's kind of bald, but he's got the goatee.
You ass. Al's Chicken Barn or whatever it is. Toy barn. That's just
I would
doing
need
me
to Google
dirty.
this one.
That's the first.
You picked the most obscure Toy Story character just to be
I'm
a dick about.
sorry. I wasn't trying to be a dick. That's the first
Which
fucking
is
face
why
I've done.
Saul is Scar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who would play you?
Who's Lindsay?
I don't know. Who'd you guys come up with for me?
We couldn't come up with one for you, Lindsay. You're so hard.
I thought you had one from like Hercules.
Oh,
Meg?
yeah.
Meg is a good one.
I don't know which one it is.
She's
Just the main lady in Hercules.
she's the
I guess.
opposite of like a damsel in distress. Like,
Right,
she talks
I'll
a lot.
take
She talks
that.
a lot of shit. She's got a
That's
lot of
right.
sass.
This is why my alter ego is Chelsea.
Yeah.
So I'll take that one for
I was
sure.
gonna say either that or Maleficent. Those would have been.
Oh, I
mine.
like that one too. I'm not mad at that.
And yes, I've heard about the Workaholics guy, whatever his fucking name is.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
I brought that
Uh-huh.
up to several people, And every single one of those people was like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
Screw you, man! I just had to go back and look at it.
Up the Toy Story guy.
Al McWiggin. I have way more hair than this guy. Screw you.
You do have a nice.
Didn't he
logo.
fall asleep with like Cheeto dust on his fingers?
Yeah, he did.
Oh my gosh.
That's so mean.
You know who?
I wasn't trying to
You know
be
who
mean.
voiced him over? The guy who played Newman in Seinfeld.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Lord have mercy. Okay,
Saw
well, we
this
went down a
Eric
rabbit
Griffin.
hole there. It was a lot of fun. Thank you guys all for joining us for the show today. We will be back tomorrow, of course, to bring.
No. Whoa, no. We have to talk about this real quick.
What?
Real quick. This was a mad
Roman.
debate. I'm
Oh.
sorry. We got to talk about this. Okay, so
Oh my God.
we got
That
like
stressed me out.
I've never seen Solace
Oh, no.
animated.
I got into a heated debate yesterday about this, and I'm not going to tell you which side I was on.
Okay.
But baths, okay? Baths.
Like taking a bath.
Taking a bath.
Okay.
You can cleanse yourself taking a bath.
Uh-huh.
No. You're basically stewing in your own dirt soup. That is not something that's about cleanliness. It's about relaxation.
Babies take baths?
Babies,
Yeah,
that's
you're
not getting them
washing-
clean. They crap in bathtubs too. They pee in bathtubs. What's your point?
But you don't like empty out all the water and then refill it up or rinse them off afterwards?
The only reason that a baby takes a bath is because they can't stand to take a shower. Like, you can't hold a baby up and shower them. It's out of necessity, not out of this is the best way to get clean.
I am team bath. I don't care.
Let's go, Lindsay.
If you're extra filthy, then as Jay said in the chat, you take a shower first. Or if you're one of those people who feels weird about baths, then you rinse off in the shower after the bath.
But that's what I'm saying.
But the bath is part of the relaxation.
But it's
part
not
of
about
it.
cleanliness. It's about
You can
relaxation.
still wash
still
in a
wash
bath.
yourself.
It's not cleanly. Where does all the stuff that you've washed off go?
Well, that's
right
what I'm
into
saying.
the water
If you're
sitting
extra
in.
filthy, then take a quick
Oh.
shower
But it's
before the
surrounded
bath.
with soap. Soap is self-cleaning.
I mean, I don't know about self-cleaning. Like a rinse off. And then
Yeah.
you just like once over with some body wash or soap or whatever you're
I don't know. If I'm taking a bath
cleaning.
and I'm just in
cleaning
there,
product
I'm
of
going to wash
choices.
myself off and then that's it.
Yeah, I think it works.
I
Eldon
mean,
agrees. Saul and Lindsay are correct on this one.
I don't.
Go scroll up. Somebody had this right here. Triple B. Yeah, wash your dishes and put them back in the same water they were soaking in.
But listen, if you fill up the fucking the dish or whatever, the sink, sorry, I couldn't think of the word. If you fill up the sink with water and it's all hot water and soap and you're rinsing everything off, that's what you do there
No,
too.
because you don't leave the dish in there after you've scrubbed everything off. Like a bath, you were literally, if you're doing it like a normal person, you have the water up to your neck, right? Then you're washing, you're sitting in there. No. This is no.
Roger said, I don't want to picture this and
no.
walked away.
Shit, man. Can't even speak
Oh
now.
my
Another
goodness
good point by Triple
gracious.
B. If that's the case, there's never a reason to clean your tub, which is crap.
I-
You go take a bunch of baths and then never clean your tub, and you're gonna have a brown or black bathtub.
All right. I
Oh my
think
God, how dirty are you,
Who
Espo?
doesn't
A
clean their
brown or
bathtub?
black bathtub?
Yeah, dirt. It's called dirt, Bookman.
How do
You
get
live
so
in an
dirty?
office. You drive in a car. What are you doing outside? Nothing.
rolling around in the mud.
What is going on here?
I'm gonna
I
say,
get dirty selling toys at Al's Toy Barn.
All right.
I'm gonna
sorry.
say you're both kind
Oh
of
my
right. I
God.
think baths are okay if you have like the bubbly soap or like a bath bomb or something to distract
effervescence?
yourself.
Have you
'Cause
ever
if
put
you're-
Epsom
if you're-
salt in a bath?
Yes. If
Top
you're just
notch.
sitting in a bath and it's just like you're washing yourself, then yes, you're just kind of sitting in your own dirty water. But if you have like the bubbles or the salt or the bath bomb, it's different. That's
Okay.
acceptable.
Ryan brings up a good point too, Espo. I guess you don't clean your shower then either?
No, my feet are the only thing standing in the shower.
But your
I'm
shower
not
doesn't get
soaking
just
in
as
it.
dirty as a bathtub?
Espo.
You're just making my point. The
Espo.
dirt comes off, right? But I'm not sitting in it when I'm standing in a shower. The only thing that gets it is my feet. And if I need to wash my feet again, I wash my feet again.
Also,
Just like socks.
Mark said
Freaking
humans are not
socks.
meant to be sterile, just clean.
Because I keep going back to like the old timey days when they had a
People
fucking
died
well.
at the age of 22 because they were dirty.
I want to see those stats.
I thought it was
They
like
had a
40s,
well.
but
They
Numbers,
boiled
I
the
don't
water.
believe you.
They came in the day of yore. That kind of stuff.
unreal.
Lord have mercy.
Come out smelling like lemon pepper, Jake.
I'm with you, Saul. I'm Team Saul on this one. Sorry, Espo.
Eli said Espo needs a line of Cheeto dust map.
God bless.
Okay, I think we should say goodbye
Okay,
now.
sorry about that.
It's fine.
I think
Yes.
so.
Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you.
Espo was bad.
We'll be back tomorrow, 30 minutes before tip off with the pregame show and, of course, a post game show. Until we see you then, be sure to follow the show on Twitter at PHNX_Suns. You can follow me on Twitter at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Saul at Saul_Bookman. You can follow Gerald at Gerald Bourget. And, of course, you can follow Espo at Espo. Espo, take us home.
The big bath bomb industry is lying to you. There is nothing good about a bath. Don't do it. Ahoy, hoy.
Megas in control and he ain't never gonna let go. PHNX though, Lindsay, Gerald, Espo. Saw past the ball, we here to turn up the tempo. Got to understand me, I'll always rep the family.